As our first impulse speaker, I would like to call David Stachon on stage. David is the COO of VFox, the world's most funded unicorn. And before switching to the challenger side, he was for several years board member of Generali Germany and the COO of Cosmos Direct, the leading direct insurance company in Germany. He also worked for Ergo and DKV in management positions and is a McKinsey alumnus. Now, we're excited to hear from him, based on his broad experience in distribution, what is the best way for insurers to approach and to engage with the next customer.
Hello. Do you know what I like about the insurance industry the most? It's actually that customers really need our products. In a lot of cases, they are even enforced by law to buy our products, which actually helps us quite a lot, doesn't it? Because if we see the customer experience we create as an industry, I'm not sure if they would really buy our products if they don't have to. How much people do you know that wake up Monday mornings and say, hey, today is insurance shopping. I go around a bit, choose whatever I like, buy the best offer, because actually it's a nice experience. Have a glass of champagne in between, drink a coffee in by. Nobody does that. Nobody. Because it's not really a good experience to buy insurance. And why is that? I'm probably not telling you the one root cause or every cause, but I would like to talk with you about one aspect of our industry that is quite different from most other industries, which makes the experience for customers cumbersome. And funnily, so in most of the countries and most of the areas. Don't get me wrong, there are probably perfect companies around that do perfect customer experiences, but in generally, if you see it, for example, today we had the VFox customer experience survey out, and customers throughout Europe at least tell us 70% of our customers are actually think they are ripped off by us, using exactly that words. 70%. So there must be something wrong. So what is the thing that we do wrong? And I think it's a switch in your head that I would like to change by now. One of that also connects to the VFox story, but that is personally very important to me for years now. I think one thing we really do differently than any other industry is cooperation. Actually, we do not cooperate very well. And that's true for the whole industry. That is actually true in setups like these. This should be a market where tons of established companies and tons of young companies come together, exchange ideas, and learn from each other what they can do better. But there is a basic belief, and I'm growing up in this industry. I'm like 30 years now in this industry. And there is still a fundamental belief that we actually are able to do everything best ourselves. And the start of any cooperation is always the knowledge that you're not best in everything. That you're not the best match for everything. But we do. Big insurance companies, and even smaller ones, do more or less everything by themselves. They program their own IT, they do their own customer service stuff, they do their sales, they manage all their products, even if they don't not perfect in all the products. They have a huge product range, and they're doing everything. And if you talk to most of these people, actually, behind the scenes, most people would admit that they're not perfect in everything. But they still do it, because it's deeply ingrained in our DNA. We're not leaving everything that could be done by the best challenger or the best player to be just done by them. In that sense, if you would compare that to other industries, like the automotive industry, that's always an easy example to take, right? We're still building insurance products the way Ford has built their T model like nearly 100 years ago. Making everything by themselves. The tires, the gear shift, the chassis, everything. So you do that. Is that the best car you can build? Is that the best customer experience you can have? If you take a Ford today, how much of the Ford is Ford? Actually, not much. The gear shift might be from ZF. The electronics part is from Bosch. The engine is probably a Ford engine. The tires are from, I don't know, Goodyear, Dunlop, whatever, and so on and so forth. Why are they doing that? Why are all the other industries are doing that? Because they found out that they are not perfect in doing everything. And especially there's one main battlefield of this belief that we are perfect in doing everything, and that is the customer interaction point. I don't know how it is in your company, but in most of the companies I've seen and worked in, it's just like, this is my customer. One sales force or area is arguing another sales area that this is actually their customer, right? Never heard that? Who has heard discussions like that in the field? Yeah, quite some. Okay, quite some. Isn't that interesting? That we actually believe that a sales force that actually has made the first contact more often with a customer is then the best way of interacting with that customer throughout his life? That can't be, because people change. We heard about new customer generation here. For example, if you take the digital native in insurance, who do you think, what does the digital native in insurance look like? Who believes like 18 to 25? No, nobody? 25 to 35? 35 to 45? Nobody giving guess? 45 to 55? Okay, you don't believe there are digital customers, and okay, I get that. The average digital native in insurance looks like me. They're actually between 45 and 55. These are the people that buy insurance online. And that's are the people that really spend money in insurance online and buy direct, take their choices themselves. 18 to 25-year-olds throughout Europe actually have the highest connection to brokers. So if you enter as a customer at the age of, I don't know, 20, and you live your life throughout your customer journey with a given insurance company, you at some point in time should switch to the direct part of this organization. Who of you has ever switched bigger parts of their customers from one sales part to another? I guess none. And you let that to the customers to do it by themselves. They switch for you then, because we don't design the customer journey. It's a bit like dating, right? Because we always think from ourselves towards the customer. So our sales operations date with as many people as possible to make the sale, which is good if you look from the sales operation side of the logic. That creates a lot of terrible experiences on the other side, because it creates thousands and hundred thousands of bad dates. If you think about, in other industries again, there has been something invented. It's called Tinder, or whatever site you want to use for that, where you can pre-select before, get an idea what's the right type of date, the right type of sales organization is for you. And it's not about finding the perfect match. It's actually, if you mathematically look about it, it's actually about ruling out a lot of bad options before you have dates. And we don't do that. We don't do this type of customer experiences because we don't think from the customer side. We're so driven by sales logic that we always think from our side of the business. And therefore, we create tons of bad customer experiences in the force to do something good and make a type of sale. In the end, we end up with customers, 70%, that believe we're actually a ripoff. We're not actively managing that, as I said. We should be going into a logic where actually, within an open logic in between all the stuff that you have, customers can switch to the logic which they need right now for the given problem. Actually, that's probably even not within a lifespan or like a decade of your life, always the same thing. Maybe someday or sometimes you just want to interact fast with your insurance company to change an address or something, and you might do that yourself online on the in a digital interaction. But sometimes you might have an interesting problem where you really want to talk and to talk with somebody else, but you don't manage that actively, and that's extremely tricky to do. It's also true for the whole logic on how we deliver customer experiences. As I said, most are designed, and most of the things I see are designed to do everything within the one system and the one logic. Nobody says we're not really good at handling customer calls, so we actually find the best customer call handler. We're not good at designing policies, so we find the best solution to design policies for us. Why not? By the way, and that's the only sales part, that's exactly the story WeFox is about. It's about building a marketplace, a platform that actually enables everybody across Europe to find the best partners for their businesses to design something for a customer experiences. End of sales part. But if you now really think about it, what has to change there? And I think the biggest change that we have to do, and I stated that in the beginning, is we have to switch the things in our head. We have to rethink the way we think about insurances as one monolithic thing that actually has to be designed all by itself in one logic. And events like this can help tremendously. Because I haven't seen everything here today, but I'm pretty sure that if we go around with open eyes, we'll find people in this room that do certain things better than we do. All in one purpose. All in the one purpose to actually create the best customer experience. Rethink your own way of doing a business in the simple logic, who actually creates the best customer experience for my customers better than I do it today. And if it's not you, go out into this world, find somebody who actually does it better than you do. By the way, to give you some numbers on that date, to come to an end, in Germany, as we are in Germany, the average customer has round about 9 insurance products. If you're very good, taking again the German market leader, Allianz has on average 2.6, it might be 2.7 by now, policies in a given customer. So thinking that you actually own a customer relation is extremely strange. If the best one, the market leader, has 2.7 out of 9, so it's not even owning 1/3 of that customer. How can you have an internal discussion about, oh, it's me earning the customer or it's you earning the customer. I was running Europe's most successful direct insurer before. I can give you that number in that sense. We had 1.8 policies per customer. So we were only earning 20% of each of our customers, being extremely successful. So it's about with whom together can you join up to actually create a holistic customer experience that is much better than what you do today to really earn the customer in the future. Thank you very much.
Well, David, thank you for your insights on the customer experience. In your speech, you made quite clear that collaboration is very important, and that maybe the insurance companies might not have the best access to customers. What do you think is the core competency of insurance companies, and with whom should they collaborate to create a better customer experience?
Yeah. I think there is one very simple answer, and there are tons of good capacities and skills, but there's one very simple answer. And everybody who's starting up in insurance can experience that at life and hand. It's having a big balance sheet and knowing about risk and really understanding what risk you underwrite and which you don't underwrite and what's the right pricing. That's a core competence. And that's, by the way, a core competence that's not easy to repeat, that's not easy to copy. So focusing on being a really good risk carrier is definitely one part. Because if you're not good at risk carrying, you should do something else in that field, but not being an insurance company.
Yeah.
What role does then still the brand have towards the end customer of an insurance company?
Yeah, as you know, I was CMO of Ergo when we did the brand change, so I'm pretty into that subject. Branding is a tricky thing for insurance companies. If you really think about brand awarenesses, there are only very few brands that people know. I'm making the German example again, sorry, because we are in Germany. There are actually 2 brands in Germany. The rest is a name and a logo. That's Allianz and HUK, because that's the only one where customers have an idea, or a greater variety of customers have an idea what they stand for. And the funny thing is with Allianz, it's what they stand for, they're big. So it's not really a really differentiator. So branding isn't probably as important as we think it is in insurance, because there is no customer experience behind it, because branding always comes with customer experience. Real good brands is what you experience with a brand. And as you don't have that really, can't connect positive things to that branding experience and the customer journey, it's very, very tough to really build up a brand like, I don't know, Nike, Porsche, or I don't know, Louis Vuitton. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for your impulse, and applause for David Stachon.
Thank you.
Good.